Okay, I think then we can start. Thank you for joining and welcome to another Ask Me Anything session. And today we have Mr. Yu right here with me, actually from community team. And we will answer all of your questions, especially about Yu himself. But first, I'd like to give the spotlight to him to say hi with everyone.
Hey, um, hello, my name is Thơ, and nice to meet you. A little bit about myself. So okay, I'm uh, I'm starting my career at NFQ exactly December 2016 as the project manager. So I've been, like back to the time I was go to the a big rockstar company, the name of the company back to the time. I was interviewed in the Beacon uh, building at the 8th floor. Back to the time is a very small office, like 100 square meter, just have only one meeting room, only one building, and a very good pantry, look directly to the Notre Dame Church. And when I was in the company back to the top, we have around 30 engineers, literally. We have 4 or 5 projects running at this time, and just to say, we are very, very small company. Uh, I've been along with the company like until now, today, almost 6 years. And I was witnessing the growing of the company from 30 people to a size of nearly 400 people right now, and it's amazing, amazing journey. A little bit about myself. What I have done in NFQ so far, I've been a project manager. Then I go my career as to a senior project manager. Then I do the job of a head of infrastructure security. Then I was promoted to become the head of software solution. Then now today I'm doing the head of digital solution. In my digital solution department, we do a lot of business domain like commerce, mobile development, um, uh, yeah, a lot of stuff. But yeah, like you're working in that, so you know. So it's a very long journey. It's been up and down a lot of time and a lot of challenging. Appreciate a lot. Okay. What I appreciate a lot in that field is that I have a chance to be knowing a lot of good people. So when I first starting the company is a very small office, everybody know everybody. And then we slowly moved to a different floor 11, where we have a seat for at the first beginning for 100 people when we moved there, and then we expand the office to a lot more seats, and then we expand to another opposite area where we can, handle around 200 mentions at this time, and our number project growing like crazy a lot. Uh, then after a while, we opened a second office in Da Nang City, where firstly we hire Villa, who's our team member. No, not yet a Villa. So when we first starting in Da Nang, is a fun time where we started at a very small co-working space. We only can host there up to 10 people, and it's grow rapidly, grow very fast. After a few months, we moved to a villa with a pool and a lot of things like garden you can hang out around. And at the time, we have a number of around 50 engineers in an office. And now today, we have 100 engineers in an office with a fancy view where you can see the city in a panorama. And also in Ho Chi Minh City, we have around 250 engineers in Ho Chi Minh City. We have also the office, Hanoi office, Bangkok office, and Egypt office, as you know. So yeah, this is a very long journey with a lot of fun along the way. I also have a chance to meet a lot of awesome people from engineer, tech lead, architect, project manager, sales guys, consultant. Just I learned a lot from. So one of the reasons I stick with a team for that long because I do learn from people that I met along the way. and it's really, like eyes opening. I know a lot of things that I don't know before. I have a chance to work with a lot of clients that I never met before. I have a chance to experience, especially in the field e-commerce, where I've been working for an e-commerce agency for nearly like 5.5 years and been building a lot of websites with them. Later on, when I moved to the Shopware solution, I had a chance to touch into very deep dive into Shopware solution, Shopware e-commerce website for client. And also when I work for an digital solution, I have a chance to jump in other area like building a mobile application, building NFT trading platform on the streaming application, which is really interesting area that everybody should have a chance to experience in their life. So it's a brief from myself. And now I would love to go into the question area where you can ask me anything like name the session, because I don't know what much to do about myself. So, okay. I can read the first question here, share my story, Shopahop. So Shopahop is the name of the client I first started here when December 2016. When I first started with the client, we have a team of 5 people, me including me 6. So we started the team with 1 technical lead, 4 standard engineer, and me as the project manager. We were handling the first project named Jabu with the client. We build a shoe marketplace where we are just a marketplace where the shoes retailers of in the union they come and they sell the product on the marketplace. Our project, the reason why Shopahop come with us because they have that project, the new technology, how much good back to the day, and nobody in Shopahop is free to handle that technology in their own company. Therefore, Manuel still this time decided to ask Boss to start a small team in a field to handle the project from scratch. So we know nothing about how much back today. A team of my engineers, they just know Symfony, they know React.js, they know frontend, but they have zero knowledge about how much food. And is back in the day in the software as a service system. So they provide API for us to import product and therefore export the product information as the API. So we need to build the Symfony middle layer to get the product from the system and then organize the product information and then display it in the website. So it originally a project of 3 months, but it takes us 6 months to launch the project into the real project. And the reason why, as any e-commerce project, it takes a long time because the requirement change along the day. The data is not ready, the integration with the ERP is not ready. There are a lot of things. But yeah, we hit the goal of launching the website. And because of the first starting after 3 months, we have another client, is named Hope with the same technology stack. So there are 2 big malls in shopping mall in Germany, and they want to build e-commerce websites so that they come to us and say, hey, want to do similar thing as Jabu, the project we are doing. So we build the architecture for them. We do exactly the same thing, but with bigger amount of scope and amount of data that we need to handle. Then we do the second project, Greenhof. Then the third project, Schumacher, is also associated with Jabu at this time, and they asked for the third project. That's how we start the project of e-commerce to Shopahop. And from the moment we have a second client, third client, we're able to scale the team from 5 people up to the time in 2019 is around 16 people. And I divided the team into 2 smaller teams so that we can handle many projects at the same time. So back to the day, at the time we have 2 teams named Aerofax and Chivas. We were handling around 7 projects at the same time in parallel. What we are doing is running in Agile Scrum, and we in every sprint we handle the task of each client combining, and also we are not just doing by ourselves in our team in Vietnam. But along the way, we integrate with the team in Germany so that I send some people integrate with the team in Germany, work with them, and deliver the shop in Germany. And also our team here, we deliver the shop ourselves as well. So, and until today, we are still doing the business with shop now. We set up for them around 20 new shop and we maintain around 40, 50 shop for Shopaholic in their life cycle. Yeah. So next question. Three keyword about me. So I think not a lot of people. I interact with a lot of people. So the first keyword is open. I'm very open in communication. You can talk to me anytime. Like I have a friend who, like Gordon, my friend, he wants to know me when he first joined the company. I can tell him that it's very simple. I'm an open book. You just let me know which page you want to read, and I will read the page. So if you ask me anything with my expertise or experience or my knowledge, I very willing to share with you. The second is enthusiastic. So I'm very into the things I'm working. If there's a project, if there are tasks, there is something that I'm working in, I'm very enthusiastic into doing that, and I want to deliver a good quality of, getting things done, right? So it's not just about we get the things done, but we also need to deliver it in a good quality, with the expectation of the one who gives to us. And the third one can describe about me is fun. So it's not just about work. You be spending your like 30% of your life in working, and you like 8 hours, you come to work and meet your friend at college. So it's very important for me to create a fun environment and to have fun with my college, my friend, so that we can be more efficient in work. There's a philosophy that I believe that in order to create the happiness for your client, it means that you deliver the happy quality result for your client. You, as an engineer and the project manager, you need to be happy first. And it's very hard to explain how an individual happy can bring the group result or the project result to happy. But it's been my experience past 10 years doing this industry of software development. I witnessed a team when down motivation, and no matter how many KPI or pressure we put on the team, the result is not as we expected. But with a team more flexible, more comfortable, more happy, more confident, we don't even need to tell them what they need to do. Team themselves, they tell back client what they need to do, and always they deliver 120%. So one key philosophy I believe is in order to make any of our plan or project successfully deliver, at the first balance, we need to make individual in the project happy, and therefore I would like to describe myself as a fun person to really make the life more and enjoyable. Yeah. Project manager of that mobile project, I was assigned to a new client and I take care of two clients at the same time. So at that moment, I was developing an application for Bayer, this medical application on mobile, and I was at that moment officially a project manager for a mobile project. And I've been working there for a few months. Then I decided to move to another company with my relative. So the next company is I was responsible for project manager for product that we develop a bus routing solution, bus routing solution for the US. So in the US, in elementary school, secondary school, and high school, we need to offer free bus for every single student. And the company, they jump in with a spoon and they say, hey, let's build you a solution that can route the bus with the shortest distance and pick the most students possible. So we are the company developing that solution. And I was joining the company as the role of project manager to build the mobile application. And later on, when the company scale up at a certain point, I grow my career to be a program manager in that company, as I manage multiple projects as the program manager for the new solution. Right? And yeah, then I jumped into another company and another company, and I ended up at LFQ, become a project manager in LFQ 6 years ago, and until today. In LFQ, my career quite simple. I go from project manager, then my team get bigger and get more client. I go into a senior project manager. At the time, I managed two projects at the same time, one Excel travel, and later on a server. Now it's managed by other people. And also in the field, I am in charge of security, infrastructure, and IT back to the day. And then when the company reshaping, restructuring the software solution department, where we want to focus on software as our e-commerce strategy topic. And then I was promoted to become a head of software solution. I'm responsible for software project and the academies. And then later on, I was changed to become head of digital solution where I'm today. That is my career development. Yeah. All right. As a PM, what do you do when you face a situation when you need to make a decision to protect the team members and by the side? This is a hard question, to be honest. I can share with you some of my experience in the past. There are situations, the worst situation, your team member and your client have some conflict conflict interest. Conflict interest can be anything. Like you have the interest of taking a day off, taking your vacation, your holiday with your family, just to plan for long, and your client has a production requirement very urgent, can cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars in business or failure contract. I had a situation in the past when my project need to launch in a holiday, office holiday. Is and I can remember it's the Liberty Day and Liberty Day and Labor Day. So at that moment, my client they sent a request 2 weeks before the holiday. They said that our client changed the release time and our product needs to be released by end of April, which is all of you know that end of April is the official holiday. Launching a product is not a big problem, but the point is the whole development team needs to be there to be responsible for anything like hiccup with the production can be happen at the time. I come to 3 key members and ask them if they be able to use the office to support and say one of the team members they say my flight ticket will book, hotel will book, and my whole family goes. So sorry, no way, I cannot do that for you. Is it come in very difficult situation because he's the one to responsible for the back end and for the whole deployment and for the whole database. So at a certain time, I was like really struggling because the guy really sorry, I don't do anything. So I asked him if you can take a laptop with you and you can work or you can be standby till anything happen. And he insists that no, not the case. If you pay me even 5 times, 10 times, I would not do that. It's the holiday I wait for the whole year and no way. And the client is also sorry we cannot change that. Is the whole contract was so we was in I was there in a situation that we can say that we should be protect the team member and stand by the customer. It's not really protecting or stand by the customer. It's just a matter of fact. Matter of fact is one of your team member he did a holiday, just wait a long time, and he refused to support, which is okay, right? You have the right to do that. And the client need to release and to go live on that day, and it is what it is. So the only thing I can do is ask for the whole team who can take care of his part and do the transition of knowledge in that 2 weeks to be able to stand by for the guy. Luckily, there's a guy who stand up and can carry the part. the point I want to share with you in this situation is my philosophy is your team benefit and your client benefit is not necessary to be separated. It's not. So in my story, the guy who stand by, who volunteered and who stand by, he said that Shopmaha is out in my company as well. And if Shopmaha losing some money, they don't have the money to pay, and I feel that they can pay me. So I'm willing to do that because I love Shopmaha. And the reason why I do that because I don't want Shopmaha to fail the client of Shopmaha. That what I said. So he create the benefit of client and his own benefit. That I believe the right philosophy to build thing with the client. If you can align every single individual in your project team benefit, your client benefit, because everybody working for everybody, right? So you know that they need to earn some money from somewhere to pay your slip, your invoice every month and pay your salary every month. If you really care about them, there is no situation you need to care about benefit or in between, because your team will stand by, stand up and help you in order to help your client. That's what I believe in. Okay, what beauty of head of digital solution and more challenging? As a head of, my job is not very much can describe to you. So mainly I'm responsible for delivery of the project, for the team happiness, for the client happiness, and for engagement of employees, right? I think the hard things I have done in my career as a head of is to deliver a constructive feedback in the good manner. You know that in order for every single individual to grow, you need to take feedback, and feedback is not easy to take, right? When you do something and you believe that the thing you are doing is the right thing to do, is the good thing to do at this moment, then somebody tell you that, hey, you have done not the right thing. And for me, that's the hardest part because my intention is good, but the message, the fact, or the delivery may be not good enough so that I can drive the mood of the person who received the feedback into very different result. For example, I have a case that I need to tell the project manager that the person not did a good job, and the person needs to be replaced. To be very honest with you, is not an easy situation. And to tell some people that you are not doing your job well and you need to be replaced, that's the real experience. And I don't want to hide anything from you. I want to be honest with you, so I want to share that experience with you. Sometimes in your career, along the way with your journey, there's some feedback very badly about yourself that you are not fit with what the client or the company expect you at the time, and you're not fulfill the expectation, and you need to be replaced. I work in the same situation in the past. There were a company that tell me I need to leave, even after 10 months working my health life. And until today, that's the experience I appreciate the most. I was angry at the time that I received the feedback, but when I was came down and I had a chance to reflect myself, I see that there's a lot of things I can learn from, which can bring me to a better position today. But to give the feedback to a person and expect them to carry that in a good manner, I don't think is easy. And from my experience, what I can do is honest. Fact and honest opinion is the only thing I can deliver at that moment, nothing else. If I sincerely believe that the person can be better, deliver them the fact and the honest opinion of myself as the supervisor. I think, yeah, that's what I can do. But it's very challenging. This one is hard. Any tip for developer to have a smooth PR? I don't know who asking this question, but okay. Performance review. In my philosophy, performance review is this: you have a long journey, right? Like you from a standard developer to a senior developer. Your long journey cannot be finished in 1 year or 6 months or something like that. Everybody have their own clock. Everybody have their own time, and you need to divide your journey into milestones. And performance review is the moment that you review that your way on the roadmap. Are you on the right track? Are you hit the milestone that you break down from your big goal into smaller goal? Are you hit the goal? Are you slower than what you commit to yourself? Are you faster, or are you misunderstanding the expectation of the company of your client? So performance review, majority of engineers when they come to me and they put the expectation on my table. And I was like, well, dude, it's not for me. When you do a performance review, it's always a chance for you to reflect the market value. Where are you? What is your value? And the only person can do that is yourself, that you value your own market value. I can put my input from client perspective, from project perspective, from your teammate perspective, from your direct manager perspective, but I cannot evaluate yourself as good as you are. So if I have anything to recommend you about performance review, is that please use that at the time you evaluate your milestone in your big roadmap of growing. If you don't have a roadmap for yourself of growing, start doing that from today. You need to know where are you and what are your next steps, and how you break your next step into smaller steps so that your manager can have you to achieve the small step. You know that you're on the right track. Otherwise, you just go around the way and you say, hey, why don't you promote me? I feel that I worked here for like 2 years and I deserve a promotion. It's like, no. One more thing about promotion is you need to know that if I promote you, I also need to come to the client and I'll say, client, can you pay more for that action? And the client was like, why? What would I get when I pay more for the guy? And that's always the question on the table when I discuss the promotion with the client, which is the one to be honest. And the best thing to tell the client is the story, how you grow, how you evolve your skill, you grow your hard skill, your short skill. After you have the domain knowledge of your business and you use the domain knowledge to bring more money to your client. That's where your value grows. And that's where your client see you at more senior position rather you in the past, and then they promote you. And that you need to break into a smaller milestone with your roadmap, which is you need to own by yourself. Right? What you motivation to keep working and growing? This one is I studied software engineering, and then at a certain time in my life, when I was 28, I started studying Master of Business and Administration (MBA). When I studied business, I found myself stupid. I don't know the strategy of investment or earning money. So you, as an engineer, I believe that you earn a lot of money, but none of you have a investment or none of you have a saving. When I do study about finance, I do study about things like administration, finance especially. I figured out that the rich people in the world, they always have the same rule. They split the money into three things. From their earning, they have the spending daily, they have the saving for sickness, for future, and they have the investment. And from that moment where I realized that my engineering knowledge in the university is not all. This is not everything. I can learn more. I can develop my mind more. If I am open, if I am the most student in the room, I can learn a lot from other people. And every single thing, like I have a story to share, right? Since I was 22, I always want to have a car, and I don't know how to have a car. I was graduated and I got my first job of $500. And at the moment, the car costs like 30,000, no, 40,000, something like that. And I will calculate it with my $500. If I want to have 40,000 car, it's like I need to work a lot of years to save until I was 40 or something without eating or spending anything. And then when I go into the house of business, I learn about strategy of investment. I learn about the way for you to buy things you cannot afford this moment is to make the money for you. That philosophy you think is easy to understand, but it's not easy to how to make the money for you. So along the way, when I found myself I lacking a lot of skill knowledge, I become more open and I become more hungry to learn. And then another story. When I was a project manager in Japan and there's a new plant and my CTO asked me that Peter, can you do a pitch for the new plant? And in the pitch, there's section it's called architecture design. Architecture design is somewhere that I need to draw the architecture, which is integration from the ERP to the marketplace to the payment gateway and to ship to vendor. I have zero knowledge about architecture design this month, really. And that my assignment that I need to do after 2 weeks. And the only way for me to do is to ask. So I asked my technical lead, I asked my senior developer, and asked the other technical lead of the company. And then later on, I generate a first draft and I submit to the CTO, he review and he say, good one, and there's some things you can change and list like and that is my first architecture design with like a list of improvement points. My CTO is very nice that he gives me the chance to do it again. And yeah, from the first thing I have learned, I learned that I need to know a lot of things in order to get my job done. And then there's a lot of skill I can learn. When I was receiving the assignment, I think that I cannot finish that because I have no knowledge about architecture design as a senior developer. But then when I was able to finish the first draft and then enhance that, then another version and another version, I figured out that it's not too hard to generate one. You just get it doing, learn something, get somebody feedback on that, and then when you get somebody feedback on that, you have an idea when you have done it wrong and how you can fix it to be right. And there's always people who help you along the way, always. Right? Okay, this question where you hands up always like just skip this one. Yeah. So, what's your favorite book and why do you love it? Okay, this one's a good book. Every year there's a book I read every year, again and again and again. There's The Alchemist. In Vietnamese is the Nhà Giả Kim. The Alchemist is a book. It tells a story about the young boy who carries a ship and have an adventure to Egypt to find a fortune that hidden. The whole philosophy of Alchemist is telling you one thing. If you commit to one thing, the whole universe will support you to get it done. So if you notice that with this 2022, a lot of things happening, internet and a lot of information. There's a quote on the internet, they say that people in 2020th century, we are flooded with information but lacking of wisdom. You can find any information you need on the internet. If you don't know how to make a sushi, internet can help you. If you don't know how to fix a car, internet will help you. If you don't know how to travel to Egypt, internet will help you. But lacking of wisdom is that from information, you have something that you really understand that, feel that, and implement that for your life is more difficult. And in the 21st century, people are lacking of commitment. Commitment is you have a lot of opportunity and a lot of information to fulfill the opportunity. So every single opportunity become easy. And the reason why it become easy is you have a lot of chances to support that. Therefore, you are lacking commitment to a single thing. And you give up easier. In the past, when I hear the story of my parents, they grow up as a farmer, they have a very hard career, they need to move from Ranat to the city, they're not well supported by physical condition. They just only have one goal. So the story of my parents, their goal is simple. They grow from a farmer family and their goal is to have a house in a big city so that we children can have a better education. They work day and night, they work no matter what condition, difficulties, just to achieve the goal. If I reflect myself today, asking myself if I have really strong goal and strong commitment like that, I don't think I have. That's why the book Alchemist helped me every year to remind myself if I really find something meaningful and commit to that, I will have enough support and energy to get it done. So that I recommend book. If you not read that, read that. If I could be a CEO of any company, which one it would be? This is the question. I don't know, to be honest. I'm not skilled enough to become a CEO. I'm still struggling with my job right now as head of, and I still learn a lot for daily business. But if a day I want, I think I can become a CEO. I will become a CEO of a product company. A product company which can generate something that's meaningful. So it's a lot of things to talk about that, but I will skip this one. All right. What's your biggest failure and what did you learn from that? Okay. So it's very hard to share this failure. But yeah, okay. I was studying MBA and I share with you Master Business Administration. I finished all of my subject is around 20 subjects and I pay a lot of money. And there's one thesis, the final thesis that I need to keep thesis to have the degree. And I skipped, not really skip, but I failed to deliver the thesis. There's multiple reasons for that. And one of the biggest reasons is from my ego. So I come to a thesis presentation and I see the way the student present the thesis and the way the professor evaluate the thesis. And I feel that they don't put a lot of energy in that, they're not serious with that, and they still pass the test. It's just like, a formula stuff to get you out of the university and get a certificate. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna sign up for something meaningless like that. And it was like the certificate, the degree illusion. Then this one day, I got a job offer. So I got a job offer as a chief information officer for a company. And I passed like 10 interview round. And then the HR sent me a required, the final required certification. And it's required a master business administration certificate to get a job. And I cannot get a job. And it was like, it's one of the failure that I remember until today. I can have a job that I wish, but I cannot because of a decision in the past based on my ego. It's not really that the thesis or the outcome of that or the presentation is better, but at that time my ego tell me that I'm better than others. And I can do it better, I can do stuff like that, and the other people doing is doing this, and then I blame the system for that. Then I turn it down, and then finally I turn myself down with the opportunity in the future, which is still a failure until today. So I would like to share with you the failure because I do believe at a certain of the time in your life you will realize that your biggest enemy is yourself, your ego, when it's telling you that, hey, you are here, but it's not really. Not really. Okay, what are your selling point compared with other managers? This is a very tricky question. I don't like comparing with other managers, so I don't have a selling point. I just doing my job. I gotta skip this one. A lot of questions. How do you resolve conflict in the team? If some member have hard to resolve conflict with peer and the team getting partner, what will you do? Okay, so conflict is inevitable, right? Unavoidable. You cannot avoid conflict. You will always have conflict, daily basis. You don't like your team member because he has a bad attitude, can be. You don't like the task the manager assigns you, or so on and so on. The way I resolve the conflict is to force people face the conflict and speak it out. So there's many ways of resolving the conflict that I learned from the book, from the theory, but I have my own philosophy that if you're upset with someone and you don't talk it out, keep it for yourself, and upset will grow every day. So I rather put the guys into one room and let them talk it out or bring them to a drinking, then people can share their opinion why they have that opinion. Because the conflict is a disagreement between opinion of individuals, right? You can disagree with your fellows about a lot of things. We only look at the surface that we disagree with our friends, but we never look at the deep down of that. Why you disagree with your friends, with your college, with your peer? Because the why is matter. Have you ever asked your peer why do you give me that task? And the PM spent you like half an hour explain the client, try to push you, and blah 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 blah. When you understand that, you have more empathy with your peer. And then you know that okay, everybody have their own shoes, everybody have their bad days, and everybody have their struggle. Therefore, in order to resolve the conflict, understand the root cause or the motivation making the decision is very important. And that's what I do in order to, having people to resolve the conflict. Also, there's another technique, there's some conflict that not need to be resolved, just need to be here. Some people conflict with other people, and we treat it in the team, we call this healthy conflict. It is what it is. Your conflict with this guy, always a solution challenged by the other guy. And that kind of healthy conflict keep the conversation in a good conversation where everybody can develop their idea and opinion, strengthen their opinion on that. Okay. Next question. As a middle manager, what you do if you can't keep your promise to your subordinate because your manager doesn't allow you? I say sorry. I say sorry, of course, and I tell them the fact, and I explain to you. So I tell you a different story. There's a situation in the past when I cannot keep the promise, and my team member come and challenge me, say, why would you as the manager not keep your promise? And you are losing all the trust from me. I cannot trust you anymore. In the future, I can't gonna trust any promise you give me. I was sitting there stupid. To be honest, I think I cannot speak anything, I cannot explain anything because it's right. If I have a child home, I promise him to buy him a car, and next day I don't buy him, he will not trust me anymore. And with adults, it's more difficult because if you promise an adult anything, and later on they not deliver, it even terrible because the person gonna lose the trust and never speak it out. In my situation, I was lucky because the guy speak it out. It take me a few days, and then I get back to the guy and say, "Hey, let me tell you the situation when I promised you, and let me explain you the current situation." So after the conversation, the guy he tell me one thing: if I don't ask, I will keep the assumption with myself and behave for forever. So at least when he shared that upsetness with me or give me a chance for clarification, he has an answer and an explanation. As a manager, I can tell you very frankly, not every promise can keep. But I always have an answer for situation. So some situation is just the external circumstances. Some situation is like you are not really meeting expectation or commit with condition to get a promise. But the thing is, clarification is always necessary for us to in any situation with a promise. Okay, one day you accidentally see Carmen saying bad thing about you. What the first thing you do? It's okay. I think. Well, I mean, I'm just a human being, and I make a lot of mistakes. I curse. I drink a lot, and I disagree as any human being. So if I was in a situation that people see me doing bad things or tell bad story about me, it is what it is. If a story that I can learn from that, I really appreciate that. There might be something I can take from the story and fact that I can improve myself for future. So if the bad thing is real, well, that's actually a gift for me because it is the free education. People tell me bad things to make me feel bad, and then I can learn from that to be a better version of myself. I should thank you for that. And if the bad thing is bullshit, why would I care? Right? Okay. I heard you are into photography. Okay, I'm not really into photography. I'm a bad photographer actually. But I have one thing I want to share with you that I like artwork. So I like to see beautiful things. And I think that's something the people in engineer or us we are lacking or we not really strong at other people in other industry. But when you are working with some product, when you can see the beauty of the product you created, is a special feeling. So yeah, I like special, beautiful things. Right. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So that is. Any other question? I talk a lot. Okay, I think it's time out also because it's almost 6. So I would like to extend my gratitude and thank you all of you that joining us both offline and in office and also on Zoom. Thank you very much for your time. And if you have any more questions, Pearl will always be here on Slack or offline, so you can ask him anytime. Session. So thank you again for joining and see you on the next one. Bye. Giờ bắt ai không nổi giờ không là rác rồi bia rồi